two-time lawmaker, but 2023, the people of District Number 8 said, no, we see it differently. We can usher in a different name, a different face. At the 54th, he was chairperson of the Committee on Executive with a lot of experience in legislative politics. We've invited him. He's clear that he's against the removal of House Speaker. There's a big debate about people saying current speaker, former speaker, Kofa, current speaker, Kofa. That's why the court must come and be as hasty as possible so we get this thing settled. It becomes history in the Supreme Court opinion. Then we can move on. Acarous, good morning. It's good to have you. Long time, my brother, to see you now. And that's small.
Don't walk around on my head because I want to charge you.
What's up?
Yeah, thank you very much. You know we always talk, and I want to say good morning to the people of Liberia also.
Yeah, we always talk. Yeah, physically we can see each other.
Yeah, the same talking.
Yeah, what's up? How's life? How's everything?
Okay, my man. Just been doing some regular training, like you.
Okay, I see. Yeah, you dropped the body. Okay.
Oh, definitely. Doctor advice.
Okay.
It's very important in all other thing.
Okay. You want to elevate the marks more?
Yeah, thank you very much.
So how's the family? How's life after service to country?
Tell the lady say I'm coming to your program today.
Yeah, the non-pepper woman.
Like me, I don't eat pepper too.
Yeah. Do you miss the legislature, Gray?
No, actually, to be frank with you, I think it was necessary that I took a break and a rest. Yeah, God knows why. Sometimes it's very important that sometimes when decisions are made, you may not necessarily accept that decision, but afterward you can get to realize why the decision was made. And it's very important.
Why you think the decision was good and you got to rest? Why? I mean, you contested. You didn't do it at your will. Had you won, you would have been at the legislature. Great.
Oh, definitely. That's why I say it was the will of the Almighty God that we cannot question. You know, those who pray and say, God gave me this, I think they are in error. You ask God if it's your will, let it be done. So the will of God is bigger than any other will, as far as I'm concerned.
You don't miss the power. You don't miss the extra traveling privileges and the respect in the place. You know, that authority when great arrives.
No, the issue of respect, I'm the senior Acarous. From school days to now, there's nothing that's changed about me in terms of my interaction and dealing with people. And what I love most is interacting with people. I love to interact with people. That's why you see in most of the chat rooms and other areas are usually debate or conversation. So I love that a lot. Okay. But again, you know, there are positives and negatives when it comes to being a representative or senator. You know, you ask some senators today or representatives going through hell in their districts. The demands are extraordinary. Some of them will come out with pressure, you know, different things. So sometimes you just relax. The pressure is not there at first, and you need some rest.
Yeah.
Speak to some people personally. They will tell you that. Okay, some guys will say to me, even the current representative will say, what? You guys were not going to it easily. It's not, but you got a lot of friends, so they will tell you that.
Yeah.
You got a lot of friends.
Yeah.
They will tell you that. Sometimes even when you say it to your house, you have to wake up. People think that you just don't want to see anyone, but they don't know your condition.
Okay.
So I'm in a very relaxed condition. You know, now I can travel the way I want to travel. I can swim the way I want to swim.
you can go from for your birthday party.
Anywhere, anything I want to do. Nobody will fool me and say, you're represented now, so you're supposed to do what you're supposed to marry, right? So the one you're supposed to do this. So again, they are good size and they are bad size.
But were they right to hold you accountable for some of these things?
Definitely. When you are a public servant, not just being a public servant, sometimes when you're an eminent person in the society, even you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you know, I remember when I first started working at the House of Representatives, not as a lawmaker. That was in 2004, I remember. A very prominent citizen said something to me and the representative. He said, where you used to pee behind the horse, you cannot do it anymore.
Okay.
Camera will always be on you. So you got to know how to comport yourself. You saw when Obama left the presidency, you were free to move into the basketball gyms, playing basketball with your colleagues. But president, you can't just play basketball with your colleagues at any point in time. Sometimes the security got to screen the people. Maybe on the Saturday, you don't have a free will. You want to drive your own car, the security will say no. you know, all of those things.
Yeah.
So when you leave some of these positions, then you revert to your position of normality.
Yeah, that's it.
So I'm in a position of normality.
So you can go Kimana and go swim. That
yeah, nobody will catch you. You know, laughing at picking more Ali. He's swimming, people start, hey, what are you swimming?
Yeah, they came out, right.
And I was just laughing and say, you see,
yeah.
when you're there, you don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to live your regular life, but it becomes difficult.
It's difficult. Okay, great. That was just an introduction, man. Look, there is something happening in the country, man. In fact, just yesterday, the Liberian Senate issued a statement that they will not send any single document or whatever to the majority bloc until the impasse at the House of Representatives is settled. You were in the House from 2011 to 2012. From 2012, no, I was just talking about your election.
Okay.
2011 election, 2012, you took over, you were there until 2017. 2017, yeah. Now, no, 2023. The issue
2024
at the House of Representatives, whatever. Okay, you two-time lawmaker. But there is a situation at the House of Representatives, and it seemed to me as though different representatives, former especially, are seeing it differently, probably based on proximity to the different persons, based on different political interests, some based on the law and based on your rules. How do you set the basis for our discussion about the current legislative import at the House of Representatives that recently saw the election of Richard Kun as a speaker versus no, Richard Kun cannot be a speaker because it was not done rightly?
Firstly, let me just publicly state my positions. One, I do support Hon Acarous as speaker. I want to get that extremely clear. I don't support his removal. I don't believe that the concerns being raised are justifiable for his removal. Let me put myself on record. Also, I have vast experience in seeing TV speakers being removed from office, either at administrative assistants, George Dwyer scenario, resource officer, Edwin Suno scenario, the lawmaker proper, Elistado scenario. So I have vast experience in the legislature. In fact, that my first government job was in the legislature. So I come to the table with a wealth of experience, even being involved into an internal coup d'etat for the removal of a speaker. So I have a strong position for a counter coup d'etat also. I know that. I also know people will flag the issues that maybe some of the procedures that were used in the past in terms of removal of speaker. But I come back to the table to hit back at them and say, look, if any speaker removal, that speaker chose not to question through a Supreme Court action to prevent his removal, you cannot blame us because you waive your right to challenge whether legal or illegal removal of the speaker. It's a right to challenge that. We also want to say emphatically, there's no time that I knew that I was at the legislature that the Supreme Court issued a stay order or return to status quo ante, and we rejected that. What I've listened to lawmakers say, they have a point, but the way they're presenting the point and the information dissemination is challenging for some of them. They say we would not accept any interference. But what is the context of the definition of interference? The Supreme Court, let me be on record, cannot tell lawmakers say don't remove your speaker. It's a constitutional responsibility of lawmakers to elect and remove. To impeach or to impeach the president, the vice president, or the judges, whosoever judges on the categories of the law. What the court cannot intervene in that. But the intervention of the court will be on the basis of the procedure for removal, your own set rules, the constitutions, and your guidelines. That's where they say the court will interpret the law and we will make the law. So the information what they provided that would not accept any intervention from the court is a blanket statement. put it in context that the court cannot start off on removing Speaker Kofa, but the court can stop you, can stop all your actions if you violated your own rules, if you violated the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. That's where the court comes in. And whether there are violations of their rules, ranging from Rule 10, Rule 12, Rule 13, Rule 14, Rule 48, and other rules of the legislature, they are in violations. Yes. Whether it's 37 of the Liberian Constitution, whether it's 33, whether it's 49, they are in absolute violation. Let me say this to you. Just focus on the removal of the speaker.
That's why that's why I want for you to
focus on the resolution. That focus first on that day. They were in total error. I will tell you why. Under Rule 13 and Rule 14 of the current composition of the legislature, there's a set format for the introduction of the session, how the session begins, how the session ends is written verbatim in the rules. Once the agenda, that's the agenda. Once the agenda is read, amended, and adopted, you cannot change the agenda in the middle of the game.
You know how I want for us to start.
Yes.
I don't want to tell you what to say, but I want to set the basis there and make the discussion better. I want to start from what constitutes lawmakers' agitation to remove a speaker. What does the rule say? What are the procedures? We are angry. We want to remove our speaker. Where did they go wrong? Where should they have started? What are the procedures? Then we can move on.
Okay, before we come there, the first thing here is that, like I said, it's the constitutional right or the rules right to remove a speaker by 2/3. You must have 49 votes. The 49 votes should be seated, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, you can have people absent because somebody could denounce, like people declining. Okay, people are rescinding the rightful or their signatures. So it makes the resolution problematic itself. Okay, unlike in the past, people were not rescinding their signature. So the first thing first here is that the first thing under Rule 48, since they had a complaint against the speaker, the Rule 48 from point 3 to point 6, very clear. It says that that complaint should be filed to the speaker. In fact, it didn't say presiding officer. It uses the word speaker. So I mean, even if a complaint, we did not say if the speaker not, no, it said the speaker. So even if the complaint is filed against the speaker himself, the speaker will only submit that complaint to the Committee on Rules of Administration under the same rules. And there's a provision where he has to recuse himself because he cannot preside over his own investigation. He has to recuse himself under that provision. The title removal, there was a smart move by Nukwe, being a lawyer. He used what we call the order. Once he called the speaker to order, and the speaker did not overrule the order, and the speaker accepted the order, then Nukwe flagged the issue of this quote-unquote speaker being a subject of an indicted, a subject of indictment, and he cannot preside. So that was a subject of indictment. This, at that point in time, it was an accusation against Speaker Taro. So that particular accusation, Speaker Taro could not preside over that accusation raised by Emmanuel Nuko under Rule 42, 45, etc. that he was quoting if you see the debate. So it's not necessarily that he brought a complaint rating, but he used the rules on the order. So that means Speaker Taro could not preside because there was a concern that was raised against it. Simple Speaker Taro should have done that day. Step aside, your deputy take over, we debate that and we take a vote. Unfortunately, he didn't do that. So it provided a ground for a disintegration that he did not recuse himself. That was the debate for the ground for disintegration and removing into another corridor of the capital building. Now, Speaker Taro did not challenge that at any point in time in the court. He did not go to court to stop our actions, to challenge his removal. In fact, he resigned when he realized that we had a 49. He resigned. Unlike the situation now, in fact, when we were reading, because I raised the motion for removal, when we were doing that, we have 49 persons seated. No one rescinded his or her signature at any point in time. The 49 persons were seated, and we succeeded in that, and Speaker Taro did not challenge it. So that does not negate, because Speaker Taro did not challenge it, or whether we were right or wrong, it does not negate that, or Speaker Kofa cannot challenge that. That's the law. So the guys, the first and foremost, where the complaint should be submitted, they were in error. Secondly, they have an argument, but the argument is 40. They say on the day they were to have presented their concern, the resolution of their complaint, some guys, some of the lawmakers stopped the process from going on. So they had to go to another session. If Deputy Speaker, because the Speaker wasn't in the country that day, if Deputy Speaker Thomas Falah, in the absence of the Speaker for the country, who had gone into that session that day and presided and they had a falling out, Speaker Kofa is history. Speaker Kofa is history, said he come to challenge due process. That probably they didn't submit him for due process and all of those things. That means in the absence under the rules of the Speaker, under Rule 10, then the deputy will assume the authority of the Speaker. But that was not the case. Even after 2 to 3 days when they were presiding, Clarence guy was presiding over them when they got up. And not the deputy speaker, you realize that he was with Fanati, right? But the issue here is that in the absence of the speaker and the deputy, they were elect a speaker pro tem. Clarence guy was never a speaker pro tem by record. There are public records to show that the formality did not go on. So that is a big error. Somebody want to argue on Article 33, I think it's 32 of the Constitution that says the majority shall establish a quorum. It's also under the rules of the legislature, the majority. But under the rules of the legislature in the same Constitution says that the lower number will meet and adjourn. And even that majority, there should be the presiding officer. And for the now says the presiding officer is the speaker. So what the guy should do is that come sit under the speaker, present your complaint. The speaker recuses himself, he's willing to recuse himself, and the matter is done. But the thing is that they are playing hardball. What happened with Snow that he resigned? What happened with Speaker Taro and he resigned? That the same hardball they are playing. Okay. That political hardball. They're not playing to the rules. They are playing hardball, construct public sentiments, construct internal sentiments, bring pressure to bear on the speaker, and the speaker will resign. Okay. Yeah, but this speaker is saying, I'm not going to resign. Even if you have 49 seated, you will have to give me due process.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Now we can start to ask you some questions now. First question.
I don't
know what you call
ambush.
First question. Do you agree with some of your colleagues who believe that where majority is a section, is plenary?
You see, the laws are complementary. We got to be careful. I'm not a lawyer, but I know the law. When it comes to legislative issue, I'm not praising myself. I'm a four-pointer. Like I said, that one of the guys are really respected in the legislature when it comes to the rules and all that things. Majority is a quorum with an exception that the speaker is the presiding officer. So, majority can just jump on and go sit down one area and say that a quorum. You know the dangerous precedent, Clarence? There's a dangerous precedent. The Supreme Court has to nip in the bud. I hope Kofa lawyers will raise that concern. Because they assume that they succeed, the majority, on the basis of what you ask. Another majority, 37, they don't need 49. Can go sit in one corner and say, well, majority, Clarence Jackson, we elect you today as Speaker Pro Tem in the absence of the Speaker. They can sit anywhere in one person's office, maybe just 37 of them, and they say we have occurrence, so we're doing the labyrinthal business. It's a dangerous precedent. Nobody should support that.
Second question.
Yeah.
When the lawmakers went to the Capitol building that day, they attempted to go into their regular section and according to them, or what we witnessed, they were prevented from entering by representatives Marvin Cole, Francis Fokker, and others. Do you think it was that action that forced them to go to the joint chambers now? What does your rule say about that? Stopping the others when at the time Deputy Speaker Thomas Fowler was, I think he was trying to make intervention to say we got to go for section and say no section here today. What does the rule say?
I'm telling you where they missed the mark. That day, I said it here. Speaker Fowler should I just follow them. Deputy Speaker, Fowler.
You mean follow the majority that day?
Yeah. Since they obstructed them from going in the main chamber, and preside over them. The speaker wasn't in the country that day. There's no argument about the speaker's absence on that day. But he did not. And they also did not elect a speaker pro tem on that day. But once the speaker arrived in the country, and in fulfillment of Article 33 and a provision of the rules of the legislature, where they will meet and adjourn every day, they're not absent. That issue about suspending lawmakers because they're absent, sorry, I'll speak like brain English, it's of lie. There's no, the Supreme Court will overrule it because you must submit a complaint. Assuming that people on the committee, like Abu, for example, they accuse, or Melvin Cook, they accuse, for example, if you complain the speaker, if the speaker send a complaint to that committee, they must recuse themselves. If you complain against them and they're on the committee, they cannot judge themselves. They will have to recuse themselves by the rules of the legislature. I have no argument. But they are defaulted on all of the procedures. And in the court, I don't see it humanly possible that the Supreme Court, by if one COFA lawyer present these facts, I don't see how the Supreme Court will rule in favor of the majority.
Now, let's go back to the Tallow trial. The Tallow stuff. I want to tie it into this.
Okay.
Even though Moses Colley has called your time without number and disagree with you when you say Tallow did not take advantage of the law. Moses Colley said Tallow went to the court times without number. Now, I heard you saying I heard you saying it was Emmanuel Nukwe who raised that motion, the order for recusal.
Yeah.
Was it in the purview of the speaker? Was it possible for Tallow at that time to overrule that he ordered the motion for order?
Exactly. If you are a veteran lawmaker, Speaker Tallow erred, probably because of the emotions. Let me tell you how we strategized. We were 15 that day. The first coup against Tallow I was in here failed and 3 persons got suspended. And people missing the first with the second. Like Tom Famula got suspended, Opi Roland Kopo and Samuel Koga. They got suspended with all pay for almost 3 months. That was the first. We strategized and spread ourselves across the floor because we did not have the numbers. Let me tell you today. So Tallow was afraid to take the vote. We strategized psychologically. It was a political psychology we used. But did we use the rules? Yes, we sat under him. And Nukwe raised the order. He said, order to you, the presiding. It was clear. Look at it. And when the speaker should have overruled it, it was late when the speaker entertained the order. James Barney ran to him. And I was like, it's late. It's done. Once he entertained the order, it's done. He will recuse himself.
No.
Yeah. So honor that the presiding doesn't know all. Like in the U.S. Congress, they have what they call a parliamentarian. The parliamentarian stands right near the presiding, the speaker, or whosoever presiding that day. Because the parliamentarian knows the rules so much, and precedent cases and all of those things, he guards the speaker. We don't have that. So what we have here, what we usually use, is the chief clerk. And many leaders don't want to use the chief clerk to guard them because the chief clerk is a veteran, bend there in and understand all of these things. So take, for example, one of the issues the guys raised about the ECOWAS parliament. For me, it's a trash. I will tell you why.
Let's go back to that thing. If from your experience, Alex Tyler had the authority to override what Nukwe did, don't you think this is one of the reasons why the majority do not want to go back to COFA? Because if they went back to COFA and any issue that come on the floor, COFA reserved the right not to put on the floor or to put on the floor or to override any motion that will come about.
No, that's an issue of an order. It's different under our rules.
Okay.
No, it's an order. These guys have a complaint. The rule says when you find written complaint, they have it. They have said it publicly. In fact, they wrote a complaint to their group and they form their own committee to investigate. The speaker can in no way, let me repeat, decide not to all write a complaint. The rules say send it to the Committee on Rules Order Administration. That's why you hear the speaker keep saying that once you bring your complaint to me, I recuse myself. Because the speaker is a lawyer, he knows very well. It's not possible. The plenary will get very rowdy in fight. Even if the speaker, there's another option, even if the speaker refuse to put it on the agenda, you can amend the agenda. That's why there's a motion for amendment of the agenda. And they have the majority. If they have, just agree, even if they have 37% and 37% seated on their side, and the speaker recognizes someone who supported him for the agenda, and the person rejected that complaint from being placed on the agenda, they will vote against the agenda of that motion, and they will defeat it with ease. So it's not possible. With ease, that 37% sitting on the floor. Anything they don't want from the speaker, 37 or then want the motion is ready, will vote. Okay, so it's not the question of an order is different from the question of Rule 48.
Do you also disagree with people who think that the original listing, the people who signed the resolution, when they signed the resolution, to retrieve your signature from that resolution, it is not just about you saying, I'm telling you. They say you got to go through process, you got to submit it to the chief clerk. What does your rule say? If 50% sign a resolution,
the rules move on that.
If 50% sign a resolution to remove you, and the record said legal process was done to get the resolution legal, can 5 or 10% just come and say, or I finish taking my name, or what does
Look, that's not a Janjaweed terrain or martial law. It's not a martial law or Janjaweed terrain. The rules silent on the issue of rescinding signature. The lawyers may call and tell you what the rule, what the law does not give you, you cannot take. I may be wrong on that, or I may be right. Maybe your lawyer can confirm that. So somebody say, I want to be part of the association again. Then you say you're forced to be. That martial behavior, the martial law, you say you're forced to be. Then I'm military thing and I'm coup d'etat.
But it's say it's so good, you're not a lawyer, I'm not one. But the lawyers say there is a process. When you affect a signature to something, you can't just remove it.
What is the process?
They say you have to write.
Okay, let me agree. You got to notify. Like a big word, ambiguously. How do you notify? Through writing, maybe through public denunciation, or rescinding your signature publicly. The guys, from my understanding, they met the sergeant of army to the sergeant, carry all letter. The majority black said, we don't want to see you here. Don't try it. They didn't stop there. They went live on Facebook. They called some of your, I'm talking about some of the journalists. Yeah. They have press conferences. What more do you want? Besides that, 49 persons were not seated. That day they claimed that they have 43, right? That public record, when it's list, that's when you can change the record, because the public record we're looking at. Secondly, if I was the speaker lawyer, the speaker just need to inform the lawyer. If you go to the agenda that day, where I was going, the guys never amended the agenda for the election of speaker. The agenda was adopted. It was read. It was adopted on the agenda for the day. There was nothing about election of speaker. Once the agenda, you can't deviate from the agenda. That's why they get miscellaneous under the agenda. Okay. They didn't even raise the issue of miscellaneous. It was the presiding officer. Their presiding officer, the deputy speaker, who said, I decline to ascend. We had election today. No. You should have entertained something from the floor. Okay? And the whole procedure is 40. The entire procedure is 40. What was on the agenda for election that day? Clarence, tell me. Clarence, you may be in a community organization or any organization in here, and you people went to meeting, and a motion is raised to adopt the agenda. The agenda was not amended for election on that day. Then you just say, you just jump in the halfway mark and say, we have election. I will tell you why they had election that day.
Talk to us. Tell us.
I will tell you why.
That's why
you remember I went around jail and that, right? Okay. Before the election day. We have launched a massive counter-offensive to recruit and get a lot of people up. The guys know that the president had arrived. Some of our own had told them, say, look.
The former president, you mean?
Yeah, President Weah. Some of them said he would take a lot of people up. Because he really been doing well, even up to yesterday. So the guy said, in a clique, they inform all the lawmakers. They said, we got to high election. Because as soon as we talk to the president, we will not say no to him if we meet him. So the guys forced the election on that day. That's the simple reason. It was pure knee-jerk reaction.
Okay. Now.
Yeah, that's the simple reason. It was pure knee-jerk reaction on that day.
Representative Gray, former Representative Gray.
You see, representative used to saying it.
Yeah. You know, you raised the critical political motion for the recusal of Jenica Alex Tyler. That day,
you maybe plural.
No, you, particularly you.
No, I did not raise the motion for him recusal.
What did you do?
I buttressed the motion.
Okay.
I buttressed
you
the order raised
you buttressed the order, and you were calling for a second. If you could obtain a second.
No. When you say I raised the motion for his removal, not for his recusal.
No, wait, 1 minute. Let me play something from here. I want to ask you a particular question.
Okay, yeah.
But I want to play this. I want to ask you a particular question, but subject to playing this thing here. Let's go right here.
A removal.
With Article 49 of the Liberian Constitution that calls for removal on the basis of tutelle, and Rule 9.1 that also calls for removal of the Speaker on the basis of tutelle, on this historic day of September 27, AD 2016, I move, if I can obtain a second, that the resolution having been adopted be executed on the basis of the removal of the Speaker of the Republic of Liberia, J. Ellis Tyler, if I can obtain a second.
Acarous, where were you?
I was on the front line.
No, I mean, where were you in terms of the venue? I'm talking about
We're
you as all of you.
We're in the Joint Assembly.
The Joint Assembly,
yeah.
Is that where you usually will hold your sections?
Absolutely no.
Why were you there?
That's the question I wanted you to ask. And I said to you emphatically that when the then representative, Nukwe, raised the issue of an order and the issue of the Speaker being conflicted for presiding over the session, and the Speaker refused to have the debate on the floor that day, the body decided that the Speaker is conflicted, he cannot preside over us anymore because there was an order raised by Emmanuel Nukwe, Senator Nukwe. And that order, the Speaker entertained the order, therefore the Speaker should have recused himself as the subject of indictment. That's what we deviated. So I guess that's not, I think that's why the Speaker did not stop our action. I think so.
So when the Speaker declined on...
But we sat under him.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to get something clear here. So did you people start the whole process? Okay, let me get it too now. I never called that play before. You got joint section and what? The play you can hold a regular section.
Okay, we got a traditional place. In fact, even where they have session every day.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the Joint Assembly now.
Yeah.
The old building has a plenary, the horse plenary. Okay? It has a plenary, like the Senate plenary, the old building has the Senate plenary and the horse. I think the both areas are on the renovation.
But the question,
I was on the renovation. So the point you want to make here is that in my mind is that why we left.
That's the point.
I was telling you why.
Why did you people leave where you're supposed to be and went to another area?
I said why we left. Okay, because under the Speaker, whether in the Joint Assembly, well, let it happen and see.
Did you?
Okay.
Did you?
Now, the rule say you file a complaint to the speaker. That's an argument, Clarence. There's not an argument. The speaker has consistently said, I told you, Clarence, on our first day, her father gone there. That place was being legitimized that day because the speaker was not in the country, the speaker was absent. That's what I'm saying to you, Clarence. Clarence, this is just simple logic.
Did you make some errors in the title removal process?
Let me say this to you, and I want to be on record. As long as the court then, I will answer you just like this, because I know a lot of people have been reading. As long as the court then did not overturn that decision, as far as concerned, the speaker waived his right. That's my answer.
I'm hosting former Representative Moses Acarous Gray here today.
What the next question? You want to play the tape?
No,
the historic.
No,
this is a historic.
No, I'm not.
No, that motion was loaded.
You said that day you people were 49, right?
Yeah.
But then I'm getting information from some legislative sources and journalists who cover that Representative Sir Joseph and two others rescinded their signature and they were never seated. But you assume that because they signed, they were part of you. No,
nobody should lie to you that people rescinded their signature. Let me tell you this: we got to stop that. That public record we're discussing here. No, we got to stop that. I know initially, when we started the battle against the speaker, so I was not part of when we were questioning that. I know a lot of lawmakers who were questioning that, and later on, John, we got to stop this. Let people stop giving false information. A public record, you can do your own research. Nobody on record rescinded their signature. We got to stop that. Okay. That's not an argument. I will tell you this about session. Let me tell you this also about session. If you walk into session and you were recorded and you left, and even 10 persons with the speaker, once the quorum is established, 10 persons with the speaker can take a decision.
Oh yeah, it's understandable.
No. We got Clarence, you're very. The reason why you see me always come on the unit here because you people are 99%. You try to be very accurate. Don't listen to that thing people talking down there.
That's why I'm asking you because you've been there. Because you've been there.
Yeah. No, not that I've been there, but you know, if you made a research, you won't see resending signature.
Okay, great. This is the OK Morning Rush. It's on 99.5. Now listen. I'm opening a particular line like I will usually do to current and former lawmakers. This is exclusively for you. 0777. Yeah.
Because I know it will be interactive. So at a point in time, can you allow me to respond?
Oh, you will respond, of course.
No, I'm not talking about maybe at the end of it because
you will respond.
We don't want it to be overly crowded because I know
I'm running this show.
No, I appeal. I know I'm not saying you know question your authority. That's why I'm appealing to your authority. Okay, because I know Acarous on air the line will be hard.
0777-700-995, 0555-995-995. Samuel Koga is right here. Let's hear you, Koga.
Yeah, good morning, Clarence.
Good morning.
Kramer, what's up?
Go ahead.
Okay, Clarence, I just want to bring to speak to cite into a memory. There are a lot of people that rescinded their signature. You have the late Samuel Wooler. He rescinded his signature. There's another representative from Grand Chile County, Mariah Willie, and Sir Joseph. These people rescinded their signature, and we went to set as a session because they were not there, and they signed for that, and they were taking into consideration. So I just want to make that correction. And Honorable Gray, not come to the disco.
Gray, I gotta protect him, please. Just be right here.
Yeah, it's so good that you say it.
Oh, Koga, you are breaking in.
The institutional memory is still fresh. Samuel Jesus Wole had a recording that he said, Samuel Koga just came to my house. He came to my son, so I rescind my signature. They were playing and people were joking with it here and there. So how will you say there was nobody that rescinded signature?
Okay. Thank you. Is there any other representative? Let me see. Yeah. Muka Kamara, go ahead. Oh, wow.
Good morning, Professor Gray.
Uh-huh.
After keenly this morning, I listened to Professor Gray deliberation, and he explained it very well. That is just the issue right there. Nobody is denying anyone of what we want to do. It is our right to say we want our speaker. It is also our right to say we don't want you, and when we want to move you, there's a procedure set up, and you have just explained the procedure. Let us follow the procedure and get it out, or you remain the speaker. That's all we want.
Okay.
Right?
Thank you.
We want us to be law-abiding. This country should be a country of law, not of men.
Okay.
That is the issue that we concern about in this country.
Thank you, Muka. I see the line for current and former lawmakers. 07. I'll take few of them, then I'll take other calls. 0777 464050. Only for current and former members of parliament. You want to say something, you can call 0777 700 995. But the other number is for lawmakers. Hello? Good morning.
Morning, how you doing?
I'm
This is Luther Sandy College.
Luther Collins, let me hear you.
Okay, so then I just like to extend my
Luther, you want cut that radio off, please.
okay.
Yeah.
I just want to firstly extend my gratitude to Honorable Gray and also you, because this thing is about Liberia, it's not about individual. And let's stop putting and holding. Where the right belong, let us put the right there and forge ahead. We have been elected to come and serve our people. For some of us, people may see that we are in support, we are in support of Speaker Kofa. Let's say yes, but that's not the case. The case is about Liberia. And I mean, like you heard Honorable Gray saying, Speaker Kofa, no day has Speaker Kofa rejected any proposal being placed to him as to recusing himself for investigation to go on. You say you got evidence. You got conglomeration of evidences in your possession. Why don't you go according to the rule, your own rules?
Okay, Collins, thank you. Thank you.
Appealing to our colleagues, let's get back to the chima and do the Liberian people work.
Okay, Luther. Former current lawmakers, the line is still here. 777 464050. 0777 464050. I want to take more of you, or most of you, before I can take the other lines. But if I can't get it, let me go so and take this. Hello? Good morning, sir. Hello, are you there? Let me come on this other line and ask this other question. Hello? Yeah?
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's the same misrepresentation that Honorable Kofa made to the public. Wherein there's no way that Honorable Gray can deceive the public based on the procedures and the processes they used to remove previous speakers. There is no way he can deceive the public because we have the evidence before us.
But you heard what he said? He said maybe that it was done wrongly. He mean it should be done wrongly and Kofa should sit.
No, Karen, at first he was trying to justify and trying to beat around the bush.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Let me just take former representative Larry Nyoko and then we'll conclude right here. Hello?
Good morning, Clarence and my former colleague, Honorable Gray.
Good morning, the Gibo man. Good morning.
Thank you. Actually, I just wanted to set the record straight. I was one of the last 28 presidents that stood at this salon. And I firstly wanted to just state here that the issue about what happened with Talon was not about him being rejected by his peer with vote on the floor. Everybody in Liberia and the world over knows that Ellis Talon resigned. So what is the issue about the process? Alice resigned because we prevail on him. The jet banning, the Basel Finance, the Beaufort Chamber, those who stood by him told him, look, man, the tension is too much in the country. And he still remain out there in the conference room and they resigned. So the issue about the process is new. Because there are a lot of things that are coming here. We let him do chambers up to the time the man recused himself.
Okay.
So the people went in the joint chamber because Ellen Cannon refused to recuse himself. And we said refusal was voluntary. Refusal was something that you have to make up your mind to do.
Okay.
And not because people are pressurizing you. So the idea of and the whole world knows that Ellen Cannon was not voted out for the non-president.
Thank you.
They left before they could do what it is. That's why I didn't want to set the record straight.
Thank you, Representative Gray. Let me come back to you. But
Yeah,
before you go any further, I want to ask another question. Probably you want to address. Is there anything in your rule that says that if a representative or group of representatives have issue with the speaker and the speaker is out of the country, they should not complain? The speaker cannot be complained and nothing can happen until the speaker returns?
No. Let me say this to you. You know, we got to be fair with the rules. In the absence of the speaker, and the Constitution provides for absence, maybe death, God forbid, maybe the speaker is not in the country, it does not stop the legislative work from ongoing. Okay, so Rule 10, I think it's Rule 10, the deputy will assume the authorities of the speaker in the absence of the speaker. But this was not the case. Okay. This was not the case. That first day, they missed the mark. That's what I'm trying to say. But once the speaker is in the country and every day is a different case. Okay. Now, Hon Acarous raised a very essential point. It's very important. Okay. He's one of those very resourceful, vibrant lawmakers that I respect a lot. It's true that before that motion that I raised, Speaker Taro had resigned. We got the information later. It's true. So that's why that's why record proof that Speaker Taro resigned and he wasn't removed. He's right on that point. He resigned. We didn't know at that point that he had resigned. Okay. But then the record will carry that he resigned. Let's get that. I agree with you 100% that Speaker Taro resigned on that point. The next thing, I disagree with those who argue, and that's where interpretation comes in to say recusal is voluntary in a context. I'm speaking in a context. In a context, you cannot preside over an accusation against you. It violates the code of conduct under conflict of interest that Larry Nyankwe and I work on, because I was the chairman on governance when he was a member on the committee on governance back then. Okay? It violates our own rules that speak to the issue of conflict of interest. You become conflicted. Okay, so in that context, recusal is not voluntary. Okay, that's why the speaker cannot preside over a complaint. He will just send a complaint. You see, the rule say send forward the complaint. The rule didn't say they should debate the complaint and be preside. No, the rule is very clear.
Is it in
and
a
the speaker being a lawyer?
Is it in a rule? I think where Nyong'o is talking about voluntarism in the context of recusal, is the rule clear that
the rule clear on conflict of interest?
Okay.
The rule clear on conflict of interest. The code of conduct also is a law.
Okay. You want to address Griffin Maswell?
Yeah. Let me come to Maswell. Conflict of interest is very clear. It's not argument about that. Even at the court, when a judge has interest in the case, he has to recuse himself. Okay. A part of the rules and procedures. Now, Maswell raised an issue about whether Maswell is a lawyer, right?
He is.
Attorney or counselor at law?
He's an attorney, as I know.
Okay, so under the law, a lawyer told me this. The court only pull the jury. Is where they will ask the jury when they bring the verdict, is this your signature? You understand? Yes or no? Do you support this? Yes or no? So, probably, I don't want to be exact because I'm not a lawyer. Probably under that, the lawyers of Fonati could raise that issue under the doctrine of pull the jury. Probably. I'm not a lawyer. They can better explain that. So that's my response to him as a lawyer. The next thing here is that my question is not about the John Chimos. My question is not about the traditional plenary or the plenary that the Chinese bill. It's not my question. My issue is the violation of Rule 48. All of the provisions on Rule 48, where the complaint should be filed. My issue is about the violation of Article 49 that says that the Speaker is the presiding officer. This shall be the presiding officer. My issue is that in the absence of the Speaker, the Deputy will preside, but the Speaker is not absent. Those are my issues. So to answer my issue about where they sit, you'll be shocked that when the people are going to court on the first stop about the issue of where the people sitting, I say it's a political question that the court will not answer. A former associate justice told me that before. When we were fighting Tyler, they say it's a political question that the court may not necessarily answer. Probably that's why the Justice Inchimo said he declined. It's not yes, it's not no, me and I think. I decline. Okay, so he also answered politically. Mind you, because the Supreme Court was created by a political theory. The judiciary, the executive, and that of the legislature. Okay, so on that, but there are clear actions now that have been taken by the group. And one of the things that are flagged here consistently, Clarence, is that it wasn't on the agenda that day. Okay, the guy pushed on the agenda. And to my friend, Koga is my very good friend. The last time he found out something with the on the phone, I think 5 or 6 days. He's a very good friend. I've told Koga, you people err. And I know the tactics Koga are using. I said, Koga, you're a veteran lawmaker, you're Antifa. If people really want to remove the man, that is a thing by the procedure. Some of them are admitted to me behind the scene. Okay, but what the guys are doing, something like that environment, we can say under the name, you know, the damn poison each other man that we can sit under you. Okay. But the real thing here is that they don't have the numbers.
Okay, they don't have the numbers.
Yeah, the real thing is that they don't have the numbers, and I can tell you
thank you
that
so
if the court, I'm conclude, my man.
Conclude,
but you're coming to conclude that. You can do your guess.
No, you don't have to.
Okay. I just want to say thank you very much. No, not chimerics. Yeah, you know, those are my problems. Yeah, but I want to appreciate you, and all of the questions for me were very fair questions, and the callers or former colleagues, I still respect my former colleagues, the current guys, I respect them. Okay, but I think they should do the right thing. And if the court makes that decision to return to status quo ante, they cannot violate it. No lawyer will allow them to violate it. So
it was not ambush interview?
No, I don't know whether they get on ambush, in quotation, I don't know, but maybe on ambush, not ambush, yeah.